So welcome folks, this is John Matus, and I'm going to show you how to do a new course, basically adding a new training program into your Training Center Manager software version 7, the web-based product. We're going to start from the training screen, which you can reach just by simply clicking up in the left top corner where it says training, and it default opens to your list of courses. So these are all the programs you currently have scheduled at your training center. We're going to start by making a new one, which is performed by hitting this button here, New Course. That will, of course, open the New Course screen. And for those of you who are version 7 users, coming from version 6, this should all look relatively familiar. Your list of customers will pop up here. And remember, again, your clients are organizations that host training. This could be a fire department, if they're having you come down and do a program, for example, or it could even be your own organization. If you're ABC Training Center and you're hosting an open to the public course, you could certainly put yourself in as the client. That would be the most appropriate party. You will then notice that the site and or location will pop up below that. Now, for those of you who are Heart Association training centers, this is not the AHA site. This is the organization location. So ABC Fire Department has 2 stations, Station 1 and 2. They have booked the training at Station 1. But your software will allow you to hold all of your locations for ABC Fire Department in case you have to go back there. Course types. You will see here your various course types. The software comes preloaded with sort of like your standard national accrediting organization courses. You can certainly add your own if you've developed your own programs, or perhaps have something a little different you offer. I'm going to do this course on Christmas Day, just for argument's sake, and I will put it at 9 a.m. You don't, however, have to use the quick buttons for date and time. You can enter your own times if you'd like. Notice that the course end date is auto-calculated. So I have programmed my software to know that BLS for Healthcare Providers is a 4.5-hour course. Since I started this one at 9 a.m. on Christmas Day, it auto-calculates the end to be 1:30 p.m. on Christmas Day. Your registrations ending are when it stops showing on the website for registration. So if I decide I don't want it to go beyond the day before, I just simply edit reg end to the day before. The default setting, by the way, is midnight on the day of the course. So at 12 a.m., meaning the first minutes of that day, it will automatically go ahead and do that. It'll auto-calculate the certificate end to be 2 years after the date of the course. Open to the public, incredibly important. This tells the software whether or not to display it online. So I have checked this course to be open to the public right now. If I were to uncheck this, it would hide it from registration, meaning if this course was perhaps solely for ABC Fire Department members and you did not want people from the outside coming, it would be best to leave that checkbox unchecked. Current students is 0 because we just made the course. Expected students is kind of an interesting field. It basically will govern how many people to allow in that particular course. So if I put in 12, what I'm telling the software is allow only 12 people to register for this course online. If this course is private, meaning not open to the public, it's a good place to just put an expected number of students. So for example, if the ABC Fire Department said they're going to have 12 firefighters in this program, the 12 sort of gives you a ballpark so you know how many mannequins and instructors to assign. Mannequins, AED trainers, these are items for the roster. Monitors are the same thing, cardiac monitors in, say, an ACLS or PAL course. This is your AHA site. So if this course is conducted by a sub-site of yours, in the AHA hierarchy, if you're that kind of training center, you're familiar with the CTC, and then the site, which is the sub-agency of the CTC. You could certainly identify them, and you can run reports to see how many courses your various training sites have done. Price per student is pretty self-explanatory. That becomes important when you're registering courses online. Schedulers are the people who entered the information. So basically, whoever is using the software right now to input this course could put their name in here for later accountability purposes. Remove package price. I'm going to leave this one blank because this will be further explained in our package course section, and it's a little complicated to get into, but it's basically how much comes off the package when you remove this course from a bundle. It's a little complex. We'll talk briefly about it. If this class has been approved for a continuing ed award, and the approval number, you could put that here. This will be relevant for transcripts that we'll discuss later. Sort codes is the category online. When people are trying to filter courses, they can say, show me just BLS courses, and this course being assigned to that sort code will pop up. And geography code is something new in version 7. It allows users to find courses near them by selecting their geography. We have set up this particular software by counties here in New Jersey. You can set them up by cities, or if you're perhaps a community college or a hospital, you can set them up by hospital campus. So it's really just up to your particular imagination. And this is simply a comment section. So we're going to save this course. It'll think a bit, and then it'll ask you, do you want a multi-session? I'm going to say yes, so I can kind of show you how that works. Multi-session is basically where you would split a course up. Now this is a BLS provider. I'm willing to bet most of you folks do this in one shot. But let's say this was a 2-day course. Perhaps it's ACLS, for example. I'm going to do 2 hours on day 1, and then I'm going to do 2 hours at day 2. I just say create session like I did here. And now I'm going to put my last 2.5 hours on December 26th. And I'm going to start that at 9 a.m. also. And as you can see, the course is now a 2-day course. So I'm going to close that. And at this point, the software is pretty much done. So I'm going to close. And now I have my brand new course for the ABC Fire Department sitting here. Course 19703. Let's open it up and have a look at what's inside. You will again see the new information, or the same information I should say. Here's your new course end date with the old the second session already updated. And this is the time where you can go ahead and do more things with the program. So for example, I'm going to hit instructors. I'm going to assign an instructor to the class. When you click on that instructor, you will notice his credentials pop up here. See that? So if I go to Pontificate, you'll see all of Pontificate's instructor certificates to make sure that you're assigning somebody who is current. I'm going to slide him over this way by hitting the arrow, and now Pontificate is assigned. I'm going to put Felonius in there too, because he's one of my faves. Toggling the lead will toggle who prints on the back of the card. So right now Felonius will print on the back of the card, but if I put Pontificate back on, he will now be on the back of the card, as you can see. If Felonius did session 1, I'm sorry, Pontificate did session 1 and Felonius did session 2, and there was only one instructor at each session, this is how you would document that by flipping the section area. I'm going to save this guy. Now I have my instructors assigned, and now I can enter some students. Now if anyone has registered online for this course, you will see those students fill in here already. So since we just made one, I'm just going to punch in a couple of students for you, just so you can kind of see how that works. Okay, AHA-ID-DL. For instructor courses, you would enter the instructor's AHA ID here, and it will print on the back of their certificate. For defensive driving courses, you would enter somebody's driver's license number, and that will also print on their certificate. If you do none of those courses, you can just leave it blank. It's not a required field. The student score, if applicable. License number is an interesting field. This one will allow students to find themselves online by using their license number and their last name. So if students go to your portal, and again, this assumes you have our TC Web Services product, the monthly fee one, and they enter the last name, which is 1, and their license number, which is 123123, they will get a transcript and be able to do printable certificates right online. Employer ID, this is a field for a future product, so we're not quite ready to discuss that, but you'll stay tuned. And these are commons of a various nature. So we have created the student, and there he is showing on the bottom, as you can see. Now, I'm going to just put in a couple of more students, but I'm going to show you something a little kind of neat. What I did was I hit New Student to save and to set up the template for the next one, but there's a shortcut, which is Alt-N, which does the exact same thing. As you notice, my cursor didn't move. So if you need to rapid fire some students in there without necessarily having to take your hands off the keyboard, job of doing that for you. Okay, so we now have 3 students in there. We can now look at a roster by clicking the roster button. And what it's going to do is it's going to import a PDF roster, or generate, I should say, a PDF roster. This kind of gives you the ability to very quickly do that. And this is kind of AHA style, I would say. There you are. So here's all the information for the students in hand. Your instructors are listed, number of mannequins, AED trainers, monitors, etc. If you click on Certificate Printer, it then will open up the Certificate Printer engine, which is this next screen right here. Now, your instructors will display on the back. The real key to this particular section is to understand that students only get placed here if you mark them pass. So if you have a student that is not marked pass, the software assumes he did not pass the course and will not generate a certificate for him or her. So just kind of keep that in mind as you're doing that. We have a pretty broad list of certificates. Here's your ECSI or AAOS certificates. Here's your American Safety and Health Institute, EMS Safety Services, Medic First Aid, National Safety Council, Emergency Nurses Association for TNCC and ENPC, and CATN. And then RP certificates, so hand resuscitation. And then we have a couple of other goodies, like some generics and some wallet-sized cards, etc. Heart Association, of course, listed here. And I'm going to print provider to a sheet, just for argument's sake. What it ultimately does is it creates a PDF. And you can just open it up, honestly. And it'll open up right into a PDF printer for you. So as you can see here, all you need to do is print this directly to your printer. And you've got your Heart Association certificates all lined up. In this case, by the way, I'm printing 2 to a sheet. So the self-mailer with the address on the bottom. It will, of course, support the 3 to a sheet, and it will support the instructor cards also. Instructions for printing are here. So I hope that was useful for you. That course, of course, will be stored into your particular list of courses. As you can see here, UBC Fire Department now with 3 students. And you can pretty much do any of the things that you would normally do with the course. Change its status, search it later for records, and generally just administer the program as you would otherwise. So again, we hope that was helpful for you. I will be posting other TCM version 7 videos for your convenience and instruction. So check us out at trainingcentermanager.com. Thanks.